an ocean of lies. When I read newspapers and turn on the news, lies. And to sell those lies, to push them through, to brainwash people, we connect labels in those lies. And you think it's just a coincidence that label and lie both start with an L. But labels are used to sell lies. And very few times in the history of human existence has a label carried positive connotations. And I'm sure there's some out there. And I'm sure I'll think of one or two before this is over. But most labels are labels that carry negative connotation. That's why people are so eager to use them, to brainwash you, to mislead you. I once thought that the geoengineering / chemtrail phenomenon was, I laughed at it. I thought, man, there are some crazy ass people out there. And I looked up. And my life changed forever. There are many life-changing events. About the time I had a friend who got rid of a brain tumor using vitamin C infusions, and then I got to sit and watch the doctors who I respected and thought were God lie to him and tell him, well, it wasn't the vitamin C that got rid of your cancer that we thought was going to kill you in 6 months. It was something else that we can't tell you what. Oh my goodness, how life-changing was that for me? I was young. I was in my 20s when that happened. And ever since, it's been a crusade. It's been a cancer crusade for me. Now I learned that the lies rule. The lies win. The liars win. The liars are ahead. The liars are the ones who have stolen and embezzled and coerced and pocketed their way into their own self-worth and their own pocketbooks. And I really am tired of watching all this unfold. I mean, it's adhering to a book. It's adhering to stuff that has been talked about for 10 years about how they're going to collapse the economy and instigate a one world government, and that corporations are going to be in control, and they're going to demolish the middle class. They're going to do political imprisonments, and then when you start seeing the police protecting looters and then tear gassing peaceful demonstrators, you wonder, well, geez, certainly some things just don't add up. The level of criminality and horrific consequences that await us, many people have no clue what's around the corner, but as long as they're blaming a Republican or a Democrat, change is not going to happen. At least the kind of change we need. The change is happening underneath your feet right now, and I just want to have a few guidelines that we can live by, especially if you're black. Number one, if you're black, realize that unarmed white people get shot and killed by police as well. In the back. Shot in the back. Unarmed female shot as she approached a police car just to speak with the officers. A guy in the passenger seat shoots past the driver and shoots an unarmed female in her pajamas. Okay? So if you're not a racist, why didn't you protest that? A white kid shot in the back in Salt Lake City by a non-white cop. Where were you guys then? So you can't be a racist and fight racism. We are all Americans, whether you like it or not. And this race baiting that is being done is working. But more at at stake is not white versus black, because still today, more black people are killed by other black people using handguns. So where's your handgun reform? Where's your black people shooting black people reform? So don't fall into the over-publicized racial tensions that are shoved down your throat by one of the most effective brainwashing tools ever invented, called the television. Free speech made a resurgence with the invention of the internet, but now they pretty much clamping down on free speech on the internet. But so you need to realize, if you're black, that we're in the same authoritarian tyranny as you. Aren't the only persons being persecuted and executed in the streets. Your people and my people need to realize we are all Americans, number one. And either you're decent or you're indecent. So which one are you? And the cops need to realize they're being used as pawns. Why would you tell an entire police department to stand down and let lawlessness rule? Oh, I get it. So you can have curfew. And then now we've had mandatory curfews, mandatory quarantines, and checkpoints. Does that sound like anywhere else in the world you might travel to? And they had many of us begging for it. But the things people don't realize is that this is a created virus. It's a two-time, a Nobel Prize winning laureate, another Nobel Prize winning laureate, says it was being engineered as a vaccine. HIV with inserts into a coronavirus capsule. Now wait a minute. So what does that say about the people that debunked the HIV inserts? What does that say about them? First, they're covering up a crime against humanity with that article. Number two, they place you at risk by letting you think that, well, no, this is just a flu virus because this guy is telling me, there is no HIV inserts, even though there's patent pending on them. Give me a break. There's a money trail from Wuhan to Harvard. And in between, there's some military, way stations. So the lies are everywhere. The lies, I'm so tired of the ocean of lies. I've been dealing with it since saw somebody respond to vitamin C infusions with a brain tumor. I was in my 20s. A friend did it. Another friend performed the IV infusions. They weren't even legal at the time. And it saved his life. So what does that tell you when something that saves your life is illegal? What does that tell you? Well, at 24, it told me this ain't the America and the Kansas that Toto and I thought we were living in. We're not in Kansas anymore. And since then, it's been a journey fighting these lies, trying to get the truth out about some of these incurable diseases. And now that what I told you at the very beginning is that there were HIV inserts on this coronavirus, now it's being proven. Not only does this virus contain identical protein sequences, but it has characteristics itself that it shares with HIV. One of those is the furin protease. Furin protease is found in HIV. And what other viruses? Oh, none. Not even the bat coronavirus. So anybody who tells you this virus came from a bat needs to get a life and get a clue and get the heck out of society's way. They're a menace. They're liars. Or they're repeating somebody else's lie. Now, why would somebody repeat somebody else's lie? Either they're brainwashed or they're criminals. So which one is it? Anybody who says there's no HIV inserts. Of course, that lie is out there. It's a dangerous lie. And And the antiviral properties, I mean, the FTC and the FDA are more worried about you taking colloidal silver and quinine for your infection. They're more than they are about you getting the infection in the first place. Because they'd be writing citations in grocery stores to everybody who handles money and then wants to handle your food with those same hands. That should be a freaking misdemeanor right there. And it should be a citation to the facility. It's not only unsafe for the cashier, it's unsafe for the elderly person whose apples you're fondling. They don't care, and you know they don't care. And this is all to usher in Agenda 21, Agenda 201, and many neoconservative think tanks have talked about this very situation, how to gain control of your population. First of all, everybody you've identified as a political prisoner, most of them are going to be at home. You know why? Because we've ordered them there. So they stay home where they can find you. And now you could be a domestic terrorist. Now that we have a domestic terror group, that's what all we were missing was a domestic terror group, so that we can start calling people terrorists and throw away the Constitution. Just grab people and take them from their homes. What makes you think that isn't already happening? Because you don't want to think it, or because you don't want to believe it, or it's too unbelievable? Man, I thought chemtrail fanatics were crazy. I thought they were crazy. And then one day at the library, guess what? I looked up. Changed my whole life. So I've been dealing with lies since I was born. I lived lies. I've seen lies. And then when I got into healthcare, I had to play along with the lies. And then when I got out of healthcare and started consulting, then I had to fight the lies, and the lies won. I fought the lies, and the lies won. But along with lies comes labels. And it's funny how lies and labels both start with the same letter as law. So, watch out for those labels. Stay away from political labels. Quit using politicians' names. Hillary, Obama. I mean, they're trying to divide you. Those articles are toxic. Anything that has the word Trump, Hillary, Obama, whatever. If you're ready to fight your neighbor over a puppet, you're pretty stupid. I can't think of any other word than stupid. That's stupid. Put on a thinking cap, and start doing some research. And put the TV remote down. And I'm sorry I sound belligerent. I don't care, because our whole futures are being wiped out right before our eyes. Our Constitution is being burned right before our eyes. Why? Because we've been dumbed down. We can't realize what's real and what's fake. So if we like the guy, if we voted for him, we like him. Oh no, well, we've been betrayed by people before. That would hurt to be betrayed again by Mr. Pretty, Mr. Feelgood, Mr. All-American Boy, which there's so many. So quit arguing over puppets. You need to worry about the puppeteers, because those are the ones that are the problems. They're the ones that have decimated your laws. They're the ones who have decimated your lives. They're the ones who are behind false flag events. There's the ones who are looking the other way as tyranny gains a foothold in every single one of our lives. Stay home so we can find you. Don't go out at night so we can find you. Let them riot at Scottsdale Fashion Square so we can curfew you. But now we're going to restart the economy. There's going to be a second wave. And you know what? It's going to be all our fault. It's going to be all our fault for not quarantining more. The same people who said, we don't need to test everybody, but we should test everybody. The same people who said, well, it's just a flu, but it's more than the flu. Been talking out both sides of their mouth, because when you tell lies, you pretty much have to. So labels, lies, and law all go together anymore. And just remember, white people get murdered by cops.